things were leading up in January. We hear about a case and all the rest, and we hear about news in New York, and then all of a sudden March, middle of March, it's like every day, everything's new, everything's changing.
Yeah, it has been a tumultuous year, I think is fair to say. I think we've seen a tremendous growth curve of institutional knowledge and medical knowledge with respect to the pandemic or with respect to the disease. From the early days, which were frightening on the basis of supply line concerns, in addition to dealing with unknown existential threat posed by the virus, which even as a provider affects you personally as you're caring for people.
I've spent lots of my shifts just having conversations with these patients because it's been difficult also not having family members at the bedside. That was a big challenge. So often healthcare workers are taking on that role of being a loved one for them.
But sometimes we are the last faces they see. We are the last people that hold their hand and interact with them.
We were managing our ill patients who had COVID-19 infection. We were managing their fears as well and their concerns and trying to reassure them. And at the same time, we had to manage the fears of our team.
My colleagues and I totally bonded. I'm pretty sure we're all bonded for life now through this sort of thing, and it'll be something we can never forget.
So every healthcare provider, from whether it was respiratory, nursing, physicians, portering, x-ray techs, everyone had to come together to kind of work through the pandemic, and I think that really stood out to me, as well as just the innovation, how we had to adapt to constantly changing protocols and how we provide therapies.
So in the last year, we've really had to be quite innovative in how we see our patients. We've had to use technology, telemedicine, phone medicine, email, like all sorts of different media platforms to try and make sure that we reach our patients and that we meet their needs.
We've seen a great amount of ingenuity. Those have been really the moments of pride to see your colleagues and your fellow practitioners kind of coming up with these solutions.
I'm actually super grateful to be a part of this profession. I've learned so much.
There's a lot of people working hard. There's a lot of people getting through every day, family struggles, life struggles, work struggles, coming to work.
We had each other's backs, and for the months that we were unable to see our family and friends, we were our support system. We helped each other every day. I think that when the dust settles and we have time to care for ourselves, it's going to be a long process of getting over some anxieties and some stress and trauma that we've picked up through this pandemic. But we're so focused on caring for others that we just kind of brush it aside and we keep going. We do this with or without the Blue Hearts, and we are there daily with or without the pots banging at shift change. We were there decades ago and will be here for decades to come.